Thanks, Mike. There's we go back a long way. The first guy I ever tried to recruit when I was at Virginia Tech, I went to Radford High School to visit with this guy. He told me no, and he ruined my whole career. No, on a serious note, you've been part of rebuilding. Obviously, you played for the great Bob Huggins. As you take over this challenge, replacing a legendary coach and a Philadelphia legend in Fran Duffy, as you're taking over this challenge, what are going to be your core beliefs and non-negotiables?
I think toughness. I think it's different in this climate. Like, you have kids for maybe one, luckily, hopefully 2 years, but so you got to recruit them already tough. And so, that's been a big thing for us when we're evaluating the transfer portal, high school, junior college, is finding guys that fit us. And, the first thing we do is evaluate toughness.
Now, you got four of your guys that came with you. How valuable is that in terms of your locker room and having the guys that you brought in understanding the essence of what you want from your team?
It's really important because they can share. You know how it is. You go in the locker room, and that's where the real stories start. They can share what they've been through, what we expect, the standards. So I thought it was really important to bring those guys with us, and they're talented players. So, I think they can make an impact on the court and off the court with our program.
Coach Huggins, legend, Hall of Fame coach, in my opinion. What was the greatest lesson he gave you as you started your coaching career and the piece that you're going to take with you in this rebuild?
I think the biggest thing is just how much he demands from his players. But, the part you don't see is how much he really cares for his players. Calling us, checking on us, making sure we're okay. But even when you're playing for him, he may hold you accountable on the court in a different way. And then, off the court, he's over it. He's talking about how's your family and all that stuff. So that's the biggest thing I took from him.
Non-conference schedule. You guys have one of the most difficult in the conference. What was the philosophy behind the non-conference schedule?
Let's just challenge ourselves. I think the big thing about our non-conference is we don't leave the city of Philadelphia until December. And so I think that's big, especially year one, going into, being a new coach and a new program, giving your fans a look at you, even if it's not on your home court. So, we like how it's built, but it's also going to be challenging.
Well, I'll tell you, one guy you got to hook up with is my guy, the Southwest Philly floater. My guy, Ty Garland. He started at Virginia Tech. He is not good. He is one of the best people I've ever had an opportunity to coach.
He was in practice this week.
He's the best. Southwest Philly floater. TY, the dude can make buckets, no doubt about it, and this guy is going to turn LaSalle around. Back to you, Mike.
All right, Seth, thanks so much. Yeah, well, hopefully he can. And, again, Fran Dunphy coming in, stabilizing this program. They redesigned the arena in there, which is great. It's a beautiful place to play now. That is big time. They needed that. Now he comes in, brings some familiar faces, so that's good. What do you think? What's it like for him now?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fresh slate, right? They have 14 transfers that are coming into the program, no returning starters, because now they have all this new injection of experienced players that he can work with and mold and develop. So I'm anxious to see and intrigued to see how that will look moving forward this season, because now I can just try to put all the pieces to the puzzle together before conference play begins.
And he's totally right about, what he wants for his culture is toughness. It has to be.
Yeah.
That's what LaSalle, it's kind of blue collar Philadelphia. You got to go after it. You just want to play basketball, grind, and they know it when you go there, so let's hope that he can get those type of players in and then change that culture a little bit.
Yeah, it's got to be innate, though, because as coaches, you don't want to have a written invitation to people to say, hey, you got to play tough. You want to see that organically come through your team and each player. And then through that, you're going to see who can elevate as the leader of toughness for your group. So I'm anxious to see that for them as well.
Might change the opponents coming in a little bit now to LaSalle because it's a different environment, right? And it was always hard. Sometimes I feel like for them to get up, there's a little bit of an advantage there. But now, now you got support, and that helps LaSalle first and foremost, okay? And then when they get on the road, and then they've made some plays. They've won some games. Fran Dunphy, one of the best all time. That was a great hire, and I know he got him out of retirement to come back and at least say, hey, we need your help to get this to a level where we can take it a little bit further, and he did that.
Yeah, it's kind of like bumpers at the bowling alley, right? It's just kind of to guide them along the way, and I think that's the best analogy.
Let's hear more from Darius Nichols. Time for his press conference to close things out here on Media Day.
It's special, especially being the 50th anniversary. We're excited where our team is. We have 16 16 out of 17 new players. So, it's kind of the climate we're in college basketball today. But, it's funny. A few years ago when I became a head coach, I called a good friend of mine, Billy Donovan, and I said, if you were coaching college basketball today, like, what would be important to you? And he said, I'm telling you, I would just evaluate toughness. Try to find the toughest guys you can find. And I said, why would you do that? And he said, it's different. Think about when you played. You stayed at the same school for 4 years. These guys, they're leaving after every year. You're lucky to have them there 2-3 years, but it's hard to build an environment and a culture of toughness, so you have to really, really recruit to it. And that's what we felt like we did this year with the roster we've assembled, and we're really excited, for the student athletes that we have on this roster.
Questions? Good. Front.
Tyler Cronin, 3-bid league. Coach, for those of us who aren't from Philly, can you please explain what you guys are trying to rebound this season?
What we're trying to what?
What you're trying to rebound?
Rebound that John. So, Brew, you can take it because you're close.
Rebound at John. So John is basically a saying. It could be like a noun. It can mean whatever. But we just picked that up. Obviously LaSalle being in Philadelphia, so we want to have something for the city. So rebound at John, we just live by. We actually have a chain that if you rebound at a high level at practice, you can wear that chain or get a shirt. So that's good for us. Good little saying for us.
So it's the teams that I've had in the past, we've always been really, really good at rebounding. A fun, creative way to emphasize it, brand it within our own team, but also within the city. And, the guys have really, really embraced it because if we did a stat, so we were 20th in the country at getting to the free throw line last year. And I would say the stat was 25% of our fouls drawn were a result of us crashing offensive glass. And so offensively, when you're in a scoring slump, you may go a few minutes without scoring. If you're putting pressure on other teams and getting to the free throw line, you're racking up easy points. So that is our philosophy. We want to get to the free throw line as much as possible. We want to out-rebound every opponent.
So a quick follow-up for Jerome. Have you gotten to wear the chain the most on the team, or if not, who has?
Absolutely, me and another teammate of mine, Joe Harris. Me and him go back and forth with it most of the time.
All the way in the back, you can see him.
Yeah, I see.
Darius, just what was the appeal of LaSalle to you?
What was the appeal? I think, obviously, the A-10 is a really strong league, one of the best leagues in the country. And for me, I've always evaluated people. And so, my college coaches used to always say, your best resources in life are people. So when I went through the interview process, just, interacting with the administration, Oshbury, Dan Allen, everybody I came in contact with, I felt a shared vision of, getting the program on the map, but also, the excitement for building a university and, the exciting things that's been going on within athletics and within that, the university is exactly what was shared in the interview process. So for me, it was all about the people. I never seen campus. I didn't have to see campus. I've been almost every campus in the United States. I know they got 10-foot rims. I'm not worried about that. So the people is really, really what attracted me. So, that was important.
You have a couple connections to Radford that followed you and whatnot. How important was that, and how significant have those guys been in getting things going for you guys?
It's really important because, when you bring in a group of new players, and, I've had to do it every year just because of the situation we were in, the most important conversations, I think, when you're a coach is when your players are away from you, the conversations they have with each other. So some of these guys that have never played for us have teammates that they can rely on and say, okay, well, this is probably what coach wants, or this is the expectation, this is standard, this is how he wants things done. So I think it builds our team faster because you have guys that, okay, when we're not around as coaches, they can, relay those same messages or kind of fill that void or say, this is what's probably going to happen.
And just one more thing, just the the obvious question of how do you want to play, and is just rebounding almost like the basic component of that as much as
Yeah, we want to do a little more than rebound. We want to score it too. So I just think that rebounding travels. I think if you rebound at a high level, you're always going to be in every game. Obviously, you know, we want to defend, we want to score. But if you look at the end of a lot of games where teams end up losing as a result of not getting a defensive rebound. So anytime we can kind of emphasize things that don't involve scoring in the game of basketball, I think guys play freer.
Coach Tristan Freeman from Bustin' Brackets. Looking at two of your 21 teams back at Radford, they were not only top in the Big South in three-point shooting, but close compared to the rest of the teams in the country. How do you feel about the shooting of this team so far? And do you feel like it's good enough to compete at the A-10 right now?
I'm actually a little surprised we're shooting it better than we are. And I think some of that is our guys play with a free mind. Like, and I'll go back to rebounding. Guys probably tired of hearing about that. But if you offensive rebound at a high level, you're getting better shots. And so we take really, really good threes. So those teams where you saw the percentage is really high, I guarantee there's a correlation with rebounding. So we're going to take really good shots. And we have in practice, and you know we've shot it at a higher level than I anticipated. So I'm excited about that.
And also, Drew, one of the other newcomers to the team is former Pitt Panther Noah Collier, who was double-digit scorer at William Mary. Looking at the overall versatility of the front court, do you feel like you can basically play with any of the forwards on the team?
I feel like I can for sure. We all very versatile and we all can do a lot of different things, but I feel like this past summer we all just got connected with each other and we know our pros and our cons of what we know how to do good and what we got weaknesses on, but I feel like we all can play together for sure.
Coach Zach Weiss, Pittsburgh Sports Now. How important is not just the guys knowing each other, but understanding that you set the standard this time of year, knowing that this is the hardest time and everything else comes kind of with that?
I think it's really important. I think we try to share or put our guys in pressure situations and non-pressure moments. Because you know what's coming. You know you have your first scrimmage. Now you roll out the starting five, and then eventually we're all on the same team. So then roles are defined, minutes are cut. So like, and I tell them I'm really evaluating: are we going to change how close we are as a team when certain guys aren't getting what they thought they were going to get out of it? And if that changes, then we're not as connected as we need to be successful. So we talk about that stuff before it happens because. You know, I've been on really, really good teams, and I know what impacts winning. So when you have guys who are really, really close off the court, and then you hit that moment in the season where, okay, you're not getting what you want out of it. If they change, then we're not as close as we need to be. So we talk about that before it happens. No,
There's Jaden Johnson's a guy that played a lot at ODU last year as a freshman. I imagine that he's somebody that could have a pretty big impact. But what have you seen out of him over the course of the summer and the early stages of the preseason?
I think the biggest thing with Jaden is I think he's learned how to be more of a point guard. And it's funny, I recruited Jaden when I was at Radford, and he told us no and went to Old Dominion. And then when he entered the portal, you know, he's scared to call us because he thought we were mad at him. I wasn't mad at him because people tell us no all the time. So, you know, we called, and then, you know, he was excited about it because he always wanted to play at A10. He always thought he was an A10 level player, and we did too, you know, when he hit the portal. I think the biggest thing with him that he learned this summer is how to be a point guard. I don't think the point guard is a position. I think it's a mentality. And I've been on him a lot about running a team, and I think he's embraced that and he's gotten better at that.
Any additional questions? Going once. No, looks like we're good. Thank you, Coach. Thanks
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Yep. Thanks.
All right, excited to see Darius Nichols and what he can do for the LaSalle Explorers, a guy who's been part of winning for sure. I mean, he was at Radford for 4 years. They had 2 20-plus winning seasons. Was a West Virginia player back in the day where they went to 2 Sweet 16s and Elite 8 and won an NIT championship. So no doubt his experience can be passed down to his new team because he's got a lot of new guys, that's for sure.